throughout respect that you do, I think, a great job of like having all these boundaries personally, professionally, and with your relationships and different things. And you explain how that shaped your business mind. So when you were getting more into the boxing world, how did you see like boxing is very similar to the rap game or different? Because on the one hand, in the book, you talk about like the Don Kings of the world and how he came at you a couple times. And then how you had also felt in a different way, but a similar way, how some of the rap executives had come at you. So like, how did you, figure that out?
Yeah, well, I tell everybody boxing was my first love, but I didn't know until I got into boxing that it was just as a cutthroat business as a music game was. And after really analyzing everything, I understood that really I'm dealing with a lot of the same people. You know what I mean? It's the same playing field with different rules attached to it. So I was right at home. You know what I mean? I was right at home in the boxing world because I was dealing with a lot of the homies that's from where I'm from, as well as rappers. And then I went on to find out that a lot of the people that was in high, positions where boxing was concerned was a lot of some of the same principles and whatnot that I had learned about as well. So, I hit the ground running. I dealt with, the Bob Arums, the Don Kings. These guys was highly seasoned, and they've been that way for years, and they had, certain things that they way of doing business for years. But I came on the playing field untamed, relentless, and I couldn't be bought, so I made a name for myself being that way.
And I think it's interesting throughout respect. The new book, make sure everybody pick it up if you haven't already. One thing that I thought was interesting is, talking about boxing, the music industry, and then the street stuff with the Larry Hoovers and the Harry O's of the world. So what have you noticed as you look around and you look back and as writing the book or just in your normal reflection, because I know you say you pray and you try to evaluate things. Obviously, all those dudes I just named, very different backgrounds. Some are white, some are black, some came up rich, some came up poor. Like, what is the thread that you've noticed about that caliber of businessman? Like, what is it?
Well, all of those guys, that you just named are brilliant in their own way. You know what I mean? It's when I think about Hoover, you know what I mean? A lot of the other guys that mastered the street avenue of the different games that we chose to play. To me, that simply means that we are brilliant people. Those guys were brilliant people. Then I imagine they're still brilliant. It's just that the difference is if you try to make a career, out of, the things that America say is against the law or wrong, then you're going against the universal laws to a certain extent. And you can't win. So no one, at least I'm gonna advise, no one should try and make a career out of the things that are against the law. Take that brilliance. If any of those guys would have taken that brilliance and applied it in corporate America, you would see some of the greatest results you could ever observe, because they them kind of people.
Right.
Yeah.
And, obviously, speaking with Harry O and Larry Hoover in particular, we saw them amass influence, wealth, different things, and just did it, as you said, in a way that people say is illegal in the United States. But that, I think the important thing is not to diminish the intelligence and the savvy and the ways to organize and to get things done
Right.
on a big scale. And like you said, if they'd have been running McDonald's instead,
Yeah.
you know, they'd be, you know, revered as, you know, brilliant dudes.
Right. No, I agree. I agree.
And then tied into all of that, what makes now the right time that you wanted to write this book?
Because of the demand, you know, the demand, the accomplishments, you know, my whole belief system of, you know, I believe readers are leaders. And, you know, I want to lead by example because I believe more is caught than taught. So, therefore, you know, I put it all in the book, and I hope that people could digest it as well as you have.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
And another thing in the book too that I thought was great was how you explain like the 3 things that, you know, you look for, what you look for people that you want to get into business with.
Yeah.
So I'd like for you to explain those 3 characteristics and how those came to be.
Yeah, well, that's a long story.
Okay.
They're gonna have to read on that one, but yeah, you're speaking of the chapter heart, loyalty, and commitment. And those are the ingredients that I built my team around. You know, those are the ingredients that I feel anybody that's trying to build something should surround themselves with people with heart, loyalty, and commitment.
All right, everybody. Well, thank you, Jay Prince, for coming through. His new book, The Art and Science of Respect, is in stores now worldwide. Make sure you pick it up if you haven't already. It's an amazing read. And thank you for coming through to Unique Access.
Hey, man, I appreciate you having me.
Appreciate it, man.
All right,
Thank you,
bro.
thank you.
Be sure to check out The History of Gangster Rap by Soren Baker. He's official.
History of Gangster Rap features exclusive interviews with Ice-T, Snoop Dogg, MC Ren, the D.O.C, and dozens of others. The History of Gangster Rap, a definitive look at how Los Angeles changed rap forever.
In Los Angeles, the streets definitely set the tone of the hip-hop music.
At 19, I got a $50,000 car.
My whole angle always was, I'll be street, but I will always tell you the horrors that go along with this life.
There will be penalties and casualties for just wearing the wrong color in somebody's neighborhood.
And once gangster rap made it from the streets to the TV, the genre exploded.
With Fab 5 on your MTV Back with NWA.
Yo MTV, it just catapulted us from being local heroes to national gangbang rappers.
The History of Gangster Rap discusses it all from 1980 up till today.
It's always gonna be shit happening in the streets. You know what I mean? So it's always gonna be something to talk about.
The History of Gangster Rap in stores now.